Volgende spreker op ons program is niemand anders as meneer Wagas het nou my volk net so gevat en net so die man se CV neergesit. Dit is ons ex-Springbok afrigter, ook internasionale afrigter, ek dink is Namibië, nee? En dan ook die huidige head coach van OP Rugby, niemand anders as meneer Allister Coetzee.
Verskoon my dames en here, ek moet eintlik eers nog my bril kry, ek is op daai ouderdom. Ek dink ek my eerste 2 bladsye maar afskeer, en dit meer maar gas al reeds gedoen hierso. Ben? Waar is die goed nou? Maar altyd onder druk. Goeiemiddag almal. My hart voel ook warm as ek so kyk in die gehoor. En ek sien Henry Pedro, Wiley Human en Dion Keizer. Sê ek gewoon, ek het saam met die manne gespeel. Lyk maar vir nie so oud. Maar ongelooflik, en dit is 'n groot voorreg om hulle hier te sien en ook hier by Dion se alma mater te wees. It is a joyful moment for me to be able to be here with you. Today, I think we have gathered not just to launch a festival. That is die bysaak. I think John Wharton is busy making a statement, and this is a statement I'd like us to think about. A bold statement is that our kids, our children, netball players, the soccer team, the rugby team, all children, they matter. Their dreams matter. Their futures matter. Schools, derby festivals is more than just competition. It's exciting and it's great, but it's giving you guys a reason to believe in yourself. Ask Dion, Wiley, and Pedro. They went from a so-called smaller eastern province, Sharks, Bulls, and wherever. And you come with that little bit of belief, Shabbat. Am I going to make it here? Am I going to make it here or not? And this is what these kind of tournaments, the school and community are giving you guys space where you feel safe and you can showcase your skills to build confidence and believe in yourselves. And a path to rise from nowhere, from the streets of Kamesh, from the streets of Gamble, from the streets of the townships, to rise and discover yourself and your potential. And not on the streets, out there in our suburbs, but on the fields and in the hearts of our communities. I still remember when Dion came to play for Harlequins. She had big support coming across to the Adcock from Utrecht. Although we had the Gardens and Excelsiors here, because we played in the Super League then, but the people, the community who supported Harlequins because of Dion just made Harlequins a different team. It was a team for the people. I'm not saying now, then, before I get crucified. We're also aware of the challenges that you guys are facing on the streets. And it is difficult. That is really difficult. There are lots of distractions, and especially if you're still on Facebook and all the social media. Jy hoor net hoe skiet die ouens mekaar dood, and it does, and without us realizing, and sometimes parents don't even know the pressure you're under out there. I must compete at school and I must compete at rugby. So bloody cold outside, I don't even have a tracksuit on. I don't even have proper boots to go play. You want me to go play sport. You know, it's so easy to stand behind this post here and I get a quick buck or two and I get snakes and I get all the tackies that I want. And going down that route. I want our communities. Sometimes hope is far away for the kids out there. So I want the communities to realize the hope must be louder. The hope that we need to create as teachers, as community leaders, it's got to be louder so the kids know that is a form of getting out of a situation. Because I've seen, and they hear, when given an opportunity, our children, doesn't matter where they come from, they don't have to play Craven Week. They have the ability to rise and go beyond. So the festival is a small part of creating that platform and creating and giving you guys a chance. The girls a chance when they compete in netball. The other boys in soccer. I was fortunate, you know, he came from Grahamstown, was at Mary Waters. I don't even think you know that school. And I had to come play EP trials here in the 70s, late 70s. Now I gave my age away of now. But I remember I played with a prop forward of, and he was from John Wharton, Sydney Langboy. Am I right? Yeah, I can't remember his nickname now. My Sydney is in John Wharton. Sevens. Okay, Aziman, Lucid Prop. John Wharton. And for me, it was also like, vrees aan Jan. Yes, ek kom van vir my gesê, plaasnaar, ek kom aan 'n klein plekje. Kom in die baai en hierdie groot manne en die groot name. John Wharton, Utney guy. And always unbelievable, George, the president, was right. Unbelievable talent that came from this area. I played against the late Eric Sauce. Played for Utney Rugby Union at that stage, Ronnie Corkia. And they taught at John Wharton, didn't they? Yes. Yeah, see, John Wharton. Sorry, McCarthy. Okay. I don't think you guys existed in those years, in the 70s, definitely not. But you know, there was a guy called Fissy. He was a scrum half. What's his real and proper name? I can't remember. Fissy. Adams, that's it. He competed for the scrum half position for EP schools. And then Gaila Majola also as a flyer, also at Utnega. See how things have changed. Mongezi comes from KwaZulu, he's a black boy. He went to school at Utnega. And obviously at that time the state, there was a bit of resistance to accept him in a coloured school. Yeah, we've come a long way. And he became a top cricketer and a top rugby player for the school. There were names like Victor Nelson. Yes. He was quick. Yes. Morgan Philander, Eric Meyer, those guys. In the 80s, Edward Killian came to promise and rise in rugby. Bonaparte, or Greg Bonaparte. And then a guy called Snowby. They all played SASA schools, SA schools then. It was a big thing to make SA schools. Your parents were proud, the community were really one of the big wigs then. And so this school has every decade or every year produced players. In the 90s, players from John Wharton represented Eastern Province Youth Weeks. Always, even the 2000s. And that shows that there is a culture of excellence at the school. There is a culture at this school and other schools in Utney. But you know, it brings me to probably the most successful player John Wharton has ever produced. I'm sure you know who he is. And I'm so happy to see him today. He represented EP, represented the Sharks with Henry Pedro obviously next to him there. And he represented the Springboks. And it was really a proud moment for the whole sort of coloured community, so-called coloured community, and the whole of Utrecht when he represented the Boks in 1999 World Cup in the UK. Dion Keizer, great to see you, Dion. Now the point, thank you, yeah, I think now the point I'm trying to make here, to the players especially, Dion is not from Durban. Dion walked the same streets here in Utrecht, right here. He was at the school. And more so, he faced the same challenges as you guys are facing now. Maybe not at that scale, but the same challenges. He didn't come from a private school where this and that, and you know what, when I think about these private schools like this, I was actually just sort of shepherding a school one day, and they came to one of the agtergeblewe skole. I played against them. And then you start listening to how they talk. Yes, die veld is vol gate. Yes, dis nie eens warm water in die kleedkamers nie. Yes, dis nie eens dit nie. Jy gaan speel hier vandag. You know, they are so used to everything on a platter. It's almost like entitled people and privileged players. They weren't players. They weren't entitled and privileged. They played here. But what distinguished them from the rest? It's about their choices. They had the support of families, teachers, but their choices in life. They choose to be disciplined. They choose to be dedicated. And they had that purpose, a dream. They had that dream. And that's what they followed, and that's why they make it. Today we see a Dion Plaatjes here, Moya. Ek het eens geweet Moya is op John Walton nie, Moya. Great to see you here, Moya. Moya started as the third best hooker in EP. Moya is number 1 now. Moya is starting Saturday against Liverpool. And I'm also so happy to see Ben next to him there. Hi, Ben. Also representing his province, coming from here. So their journeys, boys, it reminds me that greatness doesn't come from where you were born, what you eat, what I have and what I have not. Greatness lives in the hearts of every child with a dream. That's where greatness lives. So, Mr. Brainer's principles from Gamble, McCarthy, and Utnegai. I think this is our promise to the community and to the kids that we will continue creating this platform like a festival where we can uplift our guys, our boys and girls, through sport, culture, and education. But he is one of my big heroes. My dad, obviously, didn't have him for long, but I still remember all his teachings. And then our first black president, Mr. Nelson Mandela, who said education is a dangerous weapon which can change the world. And it can change your community. I am almost finished. I was at school when this big thing about, became politically aware of our facilities and this we don't have. And this and that, and this one teacher was a bio teacher. he called us and he said to us, a seedling, do you know what a seedling is? Okay, guess what? It pushes through the soil in its quest for sunlight. Don't come ammonia. It has the power to become a towering tree, providing shade and shelter for generations to come. Nou, ek het nie daai goed verstaan daai tyd nie. He said, our struggles and hardships are like nutrients in the soil, nourishing the roots of our character and resilience. And there's one thing we have as colored people, is to be resilient. And I've coached all over the world, and that reminded me whenever it becomes difficult, and I thought of what this by this seedling thing, the character and resilience. And I would like to make sure that the boys understand there are values in this game or in any sport. Values, and one of those values is not winning. Not a value. We talk about what is rugby, what does it mean to me, what does it mean to those players, current and ex-players. They understood what it is to respect. They understood to be humble. They understood resilience. And they understood teamwork. Right? Those are just a few values that we can talk about. But in a team sport, teamwork is probably one of the biggest ones. So they say leadership begins in childhood and it starts with team before self. And when you're in a team, there are certain things that you must adhere to. Okay, boys? So there are certain things. You must understand the way you want to play. You must understand why you're doing this. What do you want to achieve as a player? Why am I doing this for John Wharton? All the training sessions, you must know what it is. That's your why. Why I'm doing it. Why am I getting up in the morning? Why am I here today? Because I'm a teacher, number one. I've been a teacher for a very long time. And it became difficult in the teaching. Then I went to rugby also to teach them. And that is what the Lord has blessed me with, is to work with people. And to be an example through my sport to young boys and girls. I would like you to thank the teachers, the community members. It's not easy. To stick to this mission. It's a thankless job. I wish I was in the education ministry. I would really double the salary of the teacher. Yes. Honestly, guys, you cannot become a doctor. You cannot become a doctor if you don't have a good KG teacher. Yes, sir. You cannot. And that is why teachers, and maybe you often don't get enough recognition and praise. But believe you me, there are people who value. One day when that, maybe not the check, but the reward is when or former player or ex-pupil, he walks up to you in the street and says, hello sir, I am today because of you. Amen. Yeah? So teachers, thank you for never giving up. Mr. Joseph, you're back in the day, man. Thank you for never giving up. To the children, not children, to the boys, young men, the players, I'm sure your respective schools are already proud of you, honestly, because I've heard how you trained in the week and the preparation and all that. I think all that is needed of each and every competitor Saturday is just to give his best. Right? Just to give his best. I have rugby friends all over the world. Promise you. And that is what it's done in my life. I've got friends and friends for life. It's the relationships that you build, and it's that camaraderie that you'll never forget. You might not play rugby once you leave John Wharton anymore. You might be in a different environment. So make sure you make memories that you can really keep for the rest of your life. Best of luck for Saturday. Remember, you are the future, as has been said. It is with pride and hope I now declare, Sir De Bruin, the Schools Derby Festival 2025 officially open. And I also see Hezron Diamonds here as a community leader. Let the spirit of community lead all of us forward. Thank you.